The mythology of the spaceship, that we've seen in the first movie and are using now, is actually an interesting storyline that we didn't really pursue in the film, although hopefully it'll appear on some bonus content on the Blu-ray and DVD. But that spaceship was planted there by an advanced alien race that we're calling the Scratazons. And so they're actually connected to the Scrat. And they have left this ship encased in ice, and they've actually left a warning for Buck that he finds in the Lost World, that this big threat is coming. And we don't really go into it in the movie, but the clues are there. So if the audience is looking for it, they'll see signs of it. It's in the Buck story. You can see it in the language on this obelisk that Buck finds is also similar to language we see on inside the spaceship. And I hope we'll be able to expand on that story a little bit on the Blu-ray bonus content, because there is a mythology we had in mind there. And I guess we brought Buck back. Some of the other elements that are common to all the Ice Age movies are really the story of family, and that we always tell a family story, and it's always Manny at the heart of the family story, because that's how the Ice Age films began, and we think that's really the heart of the Ice Age. There is, interestingly, too, at least for myself as one of the filmmakers, the music, actually, in this new film is actually inspired by, in part, music from the first film. We had a different composer back then. His name was David Newman. He did a beautiful score for Ice Age 1. And since then, we worked with a great composer named John Powell, and he did fantastic scores as well for The Meltdown, Dawn of the Dinosaurs, and Continental Drift. In Collision Course, we were lucky enough to work with a composer by the name of John Debney. And he and myself and the other filmmakers discussed, the storyline of Manny and his daughter. And we realized that there was a theme in Ice Age 1 that kind of spoke to the new story we were telling. It's a very simple, sweet theme that we always loved. It was very emotional for us. And so John decided to use elements of that in the new score. And so for me, as someone who knows the first film really well, and hopefully, true Ice Age fans will recognize it, and I think it emotionally connects the movie in a really nice way to the first film. The story always starts with the idea that it's centered around a new stage of Manny's life. So we've seen him meet Sid and Diego in the first movie, and they formed an unlikely herd that shouldn't really be together, but they work as a sort of a blended family. He fell in love with Ellie, then he had a baby, and she's growing up, and now she's engaged to a new mammoth named Julian, and they're about to move away. And that's a big change for Manny and Ellie, because for so many years now they've been parents, and they're not ready for their daughter to leave home yet. They thought they had more time, and now they're facing an empty nest, so that's a huge change for him. Diego has also gone through huge changes in the franchise. He started as an assassin. He was sent to get the baby back from Manny, but he realized that he shouldn't do that he should join the herd, and he did. And so since then, he's been the protector, I would say, of the group. And in this, or in the last movie, I'm sorry, he found his soulmate in Shira as well. And so he continues that role. And in this movie, Shira and Diego talk about maybe the next stage of their life. Sid's developed a lot too. He was also on his own in the first film. He was abandoned by his family. And he's just wanted to be loved. He's always just looking for acceptance. I mean, he found Manny. He found sort of a friend in him, and kind of, stuck with him, even though Manny didn't really want him around. And he's like the conscience of the group. He's sweet. He's got a really, innocent, charming personality. And in this movie, finally, even though he's wanted it for a few movies now, we found a love for him, a girlfriend for Sid. So we're really taking him to the next step of his life.
L'era glaciale in rotta di collisione.